Very funny guy. You're going to love our headliner. He's one of my favorites. He's a regular at the Comedy Zone. He was a finalist in Florida's Funniest Comics. Give it up for the very funny Wes Johnson. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. This could be an exciting moment if he falls backwards. And he made it, ladies and gentlemen. How about that?
No, keep it going. We're not done yet. There we go. There we go. This is my favorite part. You raise me up so I can tell silly jokes. You raise me up so people in the back can see me. There we go. All right, thank y'all so much. My name's Wes Johnson. I'm not a stand-up comic. I'm not a stand-up guy. I'm not an upstanding citizen. I don't stand up for things I believe in. If at any point in this set I do stand up, you'll be just as surprised as I am. It's good. It's good to be here. It's good to be on stage. Not a lot of places have a ramp. So that's nice. Usually I'm the only comedian who needs a big hand. And I'm like, let's give a big hand to Wes Johnson. Woo! No, we need two guys with strong backs to lift him up here. And that puts a lot of pressure on me to be funny, because if I'm not, and everybody leaves, I get stuck up here. Because a new meeting, do I'll be here all week, you know? At least until tomorrow. Yeah, I love it when they do have a ramp. Not necessarily that one though. That was the easy part. Up is easy. Now I'm gonna be on stage for 45 minutes thinking about how I'm gonna break my neck getting off of this thing. Down is the fun part. I'm gonna need a standing ovation, and y'all just to come stand at the bottom. So someone's gonna have to catch me. That's good. Thank you. That was one person. I hope by we you mean more than two. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to be here. A lot of people have a hard time laughing at a guy in a wheelchair. Not you monsters. Y'all took to it real quick, which makes my job easy. But I'll tell you my story. I was in an off-road accident. It was a regular road. I just went off it. I flipped the Jeep over 4 times, so technically it was an off-road, on-road, off-road, on-road, off-road, on-road, off-road, on-road accident. But who's counting, right? The police. The police counted, and then they had the nerve to write me a ticket for reckless driving, which I thought was garbage, because when the police got there, I wasn't driving. I'd actually been thrown clear of the vehicle. I wasn't even on the same street anymore. So leaving the scene of an accident, that's on me. Turns out they can't write you a ticket for leaving the scene if you fly away. Wasn't my fault. I wasn't like, shh, gotta go. The accident left me paralyzed with a broken neck and no feeling from about here down, which turns out is good for comedy, because if you don't laugh at my jokes, you're gonna hurt my feelings from here up. Like a 75% chance, if you don't laugh, I won't care. In a chair, don't care, that's my motto. Yeah. They had to life flight me from where I was at to Shands Hospital in Gainesville, which, if y'all know anything about Shands Hospitals, that's the one you want to be at. Just saying. You don't want to wind up in Shands downtown. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You might stub a toe and wind up like this Shands downtown. Like, what happened? Well, I tripped over an ottoman. Shands downtown, I'm just saying. But the accident, they had to life flight me to the Shands in Gainesville, which was like 100 miles from where I wrecked at. which means we were passing other hospitals to get me to Shands. You know you're messed up if they're flying past other hospitals. Like, we could have gone to Baptist Downtown, we could have gone to Baptist South, we could have gone to Ed Frazier and McClinney. I said, that's a long flight. You know you're messed up if they wake you up halfway through and ask you if you want a snack. I woke up and they were showing a movie. They took good care of me down there. My sense of humor came back, well, before any of my other senses did. And I had to figure out ways to entertain myself while I was in the hospital. So I'll share a few with you. This one works if you're staying overnight. In the morning, they're going to come wake you up about 6 o'clock. And if you wake up about 5 minutes early and get ready, when they come in to wake you up, just do this. Don't move. In about 2 minutes, bells and whistles are going to start to go off, the lights are going to start to flash, and you're going to get to meet the whole staff. It's like there's a party in your room and everyone's invited. They love it. This is my favorite. I play this one at night. It's a game called Call Button Jeopardy. And you hit your call button just as many times as you can. And then when they answer you, you go, who is George Washington? I'll take presidential candidates for 1,000, please. And you do that as many times as you can before they turn your call button off. And I do have to say, if you keep saying, who is George Washington, too many times, they move you to a different floor. You get to see a different doctor. This is fun. The fun thing about Shands is that Shands and UF Health is a teaching hospital, which means they have nursing students. And they're way more fun to mess with than regular nurses. So one morning they came in and they're like, Mr. Johnson, we have a group of nursing students that we'd like to teach how to use a catheter. Yeah, which doesn't sound like a good time. But I was high as a kite on morphine. So I was like, woo! And then they told me what a catheter was. I'm like, woo! I'm woo! I'm woo! I'm woo! So they brought the group of nurses in, and this girl, she's doing everything by the book. She's got her gloves on, she's got everything laid out, and as soon as she touched me with that catheter, I went, ah! And she panicked. Her gloves came off, the catheter went one way, she went the other way. I had a good laugh, the doctor had a good laugh. It was great. I do have to tell you though, as a disclaimer, if you're going to try that, make sure that you don't have feeling from here down. At least below the waist, because she tried again. And she was a little shaky. Shaky nursing students is not what you want. We got, is there a baby here? All right, I like it. The catheter jokes, that's what the babies love. A little known fact about babies. But they got me through it. We made it out of Shands alive. We're doing good. After Shands, the real fun starts. Because that's when they take you to a rehab hospital, which is like jail for people in wheelchairs. Like, they don't have bars and locks. They just have like curbs with no ramps on them. They're like, I'm getting out of here. As soon as I find a ramp, they're like, good luck. They use prison terms. Like a lot of people don't get it, but if you're good, they'll take you to rec, therapy, out in the courtyard. Like, I know, I've watched enough Locked Up to know what you're talking about here. There's games there. Yeah, there's games. There's no violence because we're all Crips. But the initiation is backbreaking and pain in the neck. But once you're in, you get to park up front. So I like it. I'm doing good now. I started driving again. That was right. That's the right response. One woo and some keys jingling in the back. As a courtesy to y'all, I'm going to stick around for a little while after the show. Let y'all get a head start. I said I started driving again. I didn't say I was good at it. I am a licensed handicap driver, so I'm good enough, according to the state of Florida. They had to bring a handicap driving instructor down from Georgia, because that's the closest you can find somebody who wants to be a handicap driving instructor. We took a test. I was nervous, and he was nervous, because I knew, and he knew, and I knew that he knew that the last time I drove, it didn't go so well. We made it though. We made it through. I wrecked a van. I wrecked a Jeep, and I love my Jeep so much that I find myself just defending the Jeep like we were in a bad relationship. Like it wasn't the Jeep's fault. Like sometimes I just grind the gears a little bit and he loses control. You know, I'm one of those people, like the Jeep didn't mean to do this to me. I'm going right back to it, you know, as soon as I find a Jeep with a ramp on it. Does anybody here drive a Jeep? You got a couple. So y'all know what I'm talking about. There's just something about a Jeep that, like, you get that feeling. Like, you get the wind blowing through your hair. Like, there's nothing holding you back. And that's just being thrown out of one. Like, you're not going to get that feeling being ejected from a Prius. You might get 90 miles to the gallon, but Jeep has ejection technology built in. You get thrown out the front, you get thrown out the back. Hell, take the doors off, you get thrown out of either side, you know? I wanted another one, but my wife and my mother said, no way. And when you're in a wheelchair, you learn real fast. You don't bite the hand and put your pants on. So, what I got was a sweet minivan. The state of Florida will help you buy a sweet minivan. So that's what I got. It is sweet, and this is the response you get when you tell someone you drive a sweet minivan. So I will explain, and it has hydraulics on it. They lower it down so the ramp can come out, but that's still hydraulics. I'll flip a switch and it'll get low, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have a front seat, so I just slide my chair under the wheel. I'll lean this chair back, give a gangster lean on. It takes a lot of confidence to gangster lean a minivan. But I got that handy swagger, you know what I mean? It has what they call hand controls on it, which is a lever on the side. When you push it forward, it hits the gas. When you pull it down, forward is the brake. Down is the gas. I'm getting used to it. I told you I was giving you a head start for a reason. Yeah, forward is the gas, forward's brake, down's gas. It's like tying a tie in a mirror, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's so sweet somebody stole it. Yeah. Back up a second. It doesn't have a front seat. Which means somebody stole it standing up. That's the ultimate insult to a guy in a wheelchair. You're going to steal a handicap van and you use your good legs to do it? There's a special place for people like that. It's called Arlington. Yeah. Stealing handicap vans here in Arlington. And I don't know if maybe it's discrimination on my part, but I just assumed that it was somebody with good legs. I never thought maybe a handicapped person needed to steal a van. Maybe there's some kind of handicap crime they need to commit. First rule of handicap crime is you don't use your own van to do it. Everybody knows that. I was right. It was two guys with good legs, two regular people. That's what I call y'all with your good legs. And they stole a van and then they used it to rob an appliance store. Which I don't know if they wanted to rob an appliance store, or like we just steal a van with a ramp on it, or if they just stole a van and noticed it had a ramp on it and were like, hey, we can fit a washer and dryer back here. Whatever it was, whatever the thought process was, it had been working. Because when the police caught him, there was a washer and dryer in the back, and underneath the passenger seat was a bag with $1,000 in it. Which I told the police, thank God they didn't find my money. It's right where I keep it. You gotta hide your money these days. You know, you can't trust people. So I can't even be mad that they stole my van. Because they didn't steal it. They rented it for $1,000. Which is a business I'm glad to be in. Wes Johnson's Handicap Van Rentals. I don't ask no questions. Just bring it back on Monday with a full tank of gas and $1,000 under the seat, and you do you, boo. You gotta have a handy hustle these days. Gotta have a handy hustle. Yeah. Don't tell everybody that you can get a handicapped truck with a better ramp on it for $19. It's my new deal. This is my new hustle that I just started. I'll share with you. We can talk about it after the show. My friends offered to take me to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. And they were like, we'll pay if you'll come with us. I'm like, awesome, for sure. That sounds great. Then I got to thinking, that sounds a little too great. And when you're in a wheelchair and things start to sound too good, you have to wonder, is this a Make-A-Wish? Well, I knew I was sick, but I thought I had the flu. If y'all know something, say something. It turns out they just wanted to skip the lines. Yep. Would y'all be surprised to find out that handicapped people no longer get to skip the lines in amusement parks? What is exactly what my friend said? What? Like we're at $150. What? When did this happen? What? Can we get a refund? Yeah. It turns out people had been hiring disabled people to take them to amusement parks as travel guides. Which disgusts me. Because I've been in this chair for 10 years, and no one had ever offered to take me to an amusement park. We could have been going this whole time. I live in Florida, scoop me up, we'll go. Hell, you like thrill rides? I'll drive. There's not a roller coaster in Orlando that's got nothing on me in I-4. Then I got to thinking, like, how do you even get that job? Someone just see you in a bar somewhere and they're like, hey man, you wanna go to Disney World? Yes, please. Or is there like a disabled pimp service you can call? They're like, gimpin' pimpin'. They break the spine, you skip the line. We got the deal, pay by the wheel. Yeah, there is not a disabled pimp service. that you can call. Correction. There was not a disabled pimp service you can call. There is now, though, and I own it. It's called the Gibbon Pimpin' Travel Agency. I'll take you anywhere you want to go, because there are other deals to be had. Like, if you want to go on a cruise, I'm your guy, because we go through customs first. They don't check underneath my wheelchair. I'm just saying, what kind of cruise you want to go on? You know, holler at me. We board the cruise ship first. We get off the cruise ship first. It's fantastic. If you want to go to the airport, again, we skip right to the front of security. We board the plane first. It's great. If you just want to go shopping at Christmas time, I'll park you right up front of the mall. So that's why I started the Gibbon Pimpin' Travel Agency. I'm selling these koozies. They say Gibbon Pimpin' Travel on them. They're $5. I've got them back. They'll be over at the table over there. If you buy one tonight, I'm going to give you 20% off the first cruise you book me on. I like y'all, so I'm going to give you 25%. That's the deal of the day. Yeah. So I'm doing that. That's my new handy hustle. We had a great time at Islands of Adventure, and they talked me into going on a roller coaster for the first time, and I was nervous because it was one of those where your legs dangle. Oh my God, is right. Because my legs, if you can't imagine, are extra dangly. I know I'm not using them, but I ain't trying to snap the jokers off either. They're aesthetically pleasing. So we get on the roller coaster, and it starts to go up, and I immediately want off. But you can't get off a roller coaster once it starts. Because the more you scream and wave your arms, the better time I think you're having. They're at the start, go, this guy must love roller coasters. I've never seen a guy that loves roller coasters so much. I was like, so we get to the top, and we go over the first hill, and I go this way, and my legs went that way, and I can see them. And then we went this way, and my legs went that way, and I could see them. And then we did a loop, and I kicked myself right in the teeth. That roller coaster has 8 more loops on it. I know, I counted. You know where they take your picture at the end? First time they've ever just had feet. We got to the end, and my friend said, do you want to go on the death drop? I said, what did we just ride? I said, oh, is that the one where they take you up 40 stories and then drop you butt first while you wait for your feet to come down? No, thank you. I'm a Disney man now. You'll find me on the teacups doing this till I'm Disney. Yeah. I do like to travel, so I'm glad to be traveling again. Airport security is different now for me. Like I said, we go through security first, and it's usually pretty quick. But the other day we were going to Atlanta, and they stopped me because they noticed a suspicious substance on my shoes. Which, I'll be honest, I knew it was dog poop. I knew it going in, but I didn't have time to explain to the security how the guy who doesn't walk has dog poop on his shoes. It looks suspicious. So I just let them send a little pad through their $1 million sniffer machine and hope for the best. So they come back and they're like, Mr. Johnson, we're going to have to take you for a private screening. which is not what you want to hear, wheelchair or not. But by the way, like I said, they don't look under my chair. So I was sitting on some stuff, I'm just saying. So we get to security, we get to the private room, and he goes, Mr. Johnson, I know this is a silly question, but is there any way you could stand up for just a moment? That's not that silly of a question. Some people who are in wheelchairs can stand up for a moment. I cannot. Plus, I'm sitting on some things, like I said. So I do not want to. His next question, though, was, are you sure? Now, that's a silly question, because I don't check every day. It's not like I just get up and check. Maybe I've been healed a long time ago and I've just been complacent. I gave it an honest effort. I'm like, well, maybe he knows something I don't. How crazy would it have been if I just stood up? We'd have both been surprised. But so I went through security. They didn't find anything, thank goodness. And they made me late for my flight. Like, not late like I missed the flight, but when you're in a wheelchair, you board first. And how they do it is they put you in what they call an aisle chair, which is a skinny wheelchair that they slide you onto, and they put a seatbelt across your waist, they put a seatbelt across your legs, they fold both arms across your chest, and they put a seatbelt across that too. And then they roll you onto the plane backwards, which is fine if you board first. If you board last because you were late, what a plane full of people sees is a guy they didn't know was in a wheelchair 10 minutes ago, rolled on backwards like Hannibal Lecter. It looks suspicious. You've never seen people try to get to a middle seat faster. So like, we'll sit 3 to a row. As long as I was sitting next to that guy. It didn't help that I was waving and ordering Chianti. We made it. We were going to Atlanta, which is fun. We were going to Atlanta for a disability march. Y'all get it? Y'all figured it out real quick. 300 people in wheelchairs is not something you call a march. Yeah. 300 people in wheelchairs, like a parade. They started us on a hill. It's the fastest protest ever. Hell no, we won't go! There were more people at the bottom who needed wheelchairs than when we started. It was crazy. But it was funny because we were trying to protest for lack of accessibility in ramps. Oh, you want more ramps? We got a ramp for you. It's called Peachtree. We'll put you at the top of it and see how you do at the bottom. I do like to travel. I just got back from a cruise, which is so much fun. If you're not cruise people, be cruise people. Cruise are the best. And I'll tell you the best one to go on. A lot of people say Royal Caribbean, a lot of people say Carnival. I'm going to tell you, the Margaritaville cruise out of, somebody knows already, out of West Palm Beach. It's a 3-day cruise, 2 people cruise for 99 bucks. That's a 3-day cruise for $45 a person. I'll do the math for you. That's a 3-day cruise for 16 bucks a day. It is the Walmart After Dark of cruises. That's what you're going to find at 2 a.m. Walmart, people. And if you know that going into it, it is a blast. I like to do karaoke. It's one of my favorite things to do on a cruise. And for 16 bucks a night, you got those people trapped. They have to listen to you. My go-to for karaoke is Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. It's the best. It's difficult because you have to know all the words of Under the Sea, and you have to have a Jamaican crab accent. That's why I like it. So I'm getting into it, you know, under the sea, darling, it's wetter down where it's better down where it's wetter. See, I don't have the words with me right now, you know, but I'm getting into it. And from the other side of the boat on a balcony, this huge black guy just screams, "Oh, dang! The Little Mermaid is my jam!" I'm like, all right. And next thing I know, he's got a microphone standing next to me, just killing the bass line. Ba 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 boo, ba 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 boo. And I'm not paying attention. And I look up, it's Seal. Seal, like Heidi Klum, like Kissed by a Rose. Seal. Seal and I are seeing a Little Mermaid on a $99 Groupon cruise. I'm like, Heidi Klum has done a number on this man. Woo. We had the best time. We did Under the Little Mermaid. We did the Bare Necessities. We did Aladdin. Like, just killing it. It was so much fun. The next morning, I wake up, tell my friend we're at breakfast. I'm like, I cannot believe that this just happened. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, me and Seal just crushed karaoke. I'm like, what? Like, me and Seal, they're like, that guy's name was Kevin. I'm racist. I just say, you gotta watch yourself on a cruise, because that sun will get you. It's not the margaritas, it's the sunshine, I'm telling you what. I should have thought about it when we got on the $99 cruise and Seal was not participating. That should have been a giveaway. My wife and I, we have a special relationship. I'll tell you this first. We're not like most newlywed couples. We're like a girl and a puppy, really. It's like, I wake her up in the morning so she can take me out and get me ready so I can go out. And then she goes to work and I putter around the house and make a mess that I can't clean up. Like the other day I spilled some cereal and I was like, she's gonna hit me with a newspaper. And I get home. Yeah. When she gets home, sometimes I get, but like I can hear, I can tell when she's coming home, so I always get ready to look real cute. I mean, she still hits me, but she says it with love. You know, it's one of those, it just hurts me more than it hurts you, you know? We've been married long enough that according to according to her mother and my mother, we should start thinking about having kids. And I was worried about having kids because I don't know how I'm going to discipline a child once it learns it can climb on something and get away with whatever it wants. Like, what do I do? Like, get off that bed. Get over here and let me spank you. Like, I'm going to have one of those reachers like your grandma has. Like, get over here, right? Gotcha now, right? I'm going to have the only kids that wear Velcro all the time. Like, get over here. Gotcha. You're getting a spanking. I told that joke the other day and the lady said, that's child abuse. I said, no, that's adaptive parenting. I was pretty proud of that. But we did what a lot of couples would do. Before we thought about having our own kids, we adopted a cat. It's our little trial child, a little fur baby. Except we adopted a grown cat, so he's more like a fur adult. His name is Melvin. which is probably why he didn't get adopted as a kitten. They said not a lot of people looking for a Melvin the cat. So that's on you, Humane Society. And I'm glad we adopted a cat before we tried having kids, because it took about 3 days before I ran him over in this chair. Now, it was my fault, I'll admit it. I was watching TV, and when the show ended, I just pulled forward and I heard, "Meow," and I panicked because I thought the fire alarm was going off. If you've never run over a cat before, sometimes they sound like a fire alarm is going off. But I didn't know what to do because I couldn't pull forward in case I hadn't run him all the way over, but I couldn't throw it in reverse either in case I had. So I just froze, and my wife comes out, she's like, "You're right on top of the cat." She said, "Back up." So I back up, and the cat flies out from underneath me in a streak of cat fur and carpet samples. And he gets up underneath the dining room table, and he stays there for 3 days. He doesn't come out to eat. He doesn't come out to go to the bathroom. He just growls at me as I roll by for 3 days. And on the third night, he comes out, and he gets right in my lap. And my wife says, "Oh, he forgives you." I'm like, "No, this is a smart cat. He knows if he's on top of me, there's no way to be underneath me." I have to thank her. But I'm petting him, and I noticed that he's blinking a lot, like a normal amount for a cat. Which makes sense, because when I looked down, there was cat coming out of all 4 sides, so I might have got his face a little bit. So I noticed he's blinking a lot, so we took him to the vet. And the vet says he has post-traumatic ocular extrusion, which sounds expensive. Remember, we adopted this cat, which means for $20, we get a new cat. The vet says, "No, basically you just ran over his butt so hard his eyes bugged out. He's like a little kitty tube of toothpaste." That's just a joke, folks. It's just a joke. We didn't take the cat to the vet. Oh, there we go. I've had this cord stuck for like 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm glad we adopted a cat. Because we realized that we were not going to be able to have our own kids, so we decided to go through the foster care program. So, in order to go through foster care, you have to take a class. It's 6 weeks long. You go every Saturday, and you can imagine the people that are there in the foster care class. There's me and my wife who couldn't have our own kids. There's another couple who God told them they needed more kids. There was an older couple who was trying to adopt their grandkids, which I don't think should be allowed, because if you messed up your kids so bad they had to take away their kids, you shouldn't get a do-over. That's just not good math. There was another couple that they were looking for an athlete. I'm like, you can't just come out and say you're trying to get a blind side. So then everybody has to introduce themselves, and they got to me, and I was like, well, you know, I'm in a wheelchair, and I drop a lot of things, and it takes 8 weeks to get a service dog. Dave did not think that was funny. They do not have a sense of humor at TCF, I'm just saying. I'm glad y'all got it. Yeah. Side note, I can't even get a service dog. Because I live on a house, on a lake, that doesn't have a fence. They gave me 3 kids, though. Like somewhere somebody has their priorities mixed up. Yeah. So you introduce yourself, and they ask you why you want to be a foster parent, and then they ask you if you have a racial preference. And everybody in the room looks at you just like that. Go ahead, say you have a racial preference. We dare you. Go ahead. I dare you. Which is crazy because everyone there has a racial preference. We were all looking for little Asian babies. They wanted the best. If you get your hands on one of those, that's like the foster care lottery. Everybody wanted a little Asian baby. They were just too afraid to say it. Except for the lady looking for an athlete. You know. She didn't say which race she wanted, but she was looking for somebody a little athletic. You know what I mean? So we did the foster care program, and they start you off. They asked us, we wanted an infant. They're like, would you take a 7-year-old? Like, that's not even close. But they're like, you can just do it on respite. And respite is when you take a kid who already has a foster family. They just have to go somewhere, and they need somebody to watch it for like a weekend. Which was okay with us. Like, yeah, that's a good way to get your feet wet. Which I say respite is like the marijuana of social services. Like, it's a gateway drug. They're like, just try it. Just try a 7-year-old. Just take a little bump of a 7-year-old. See how you like it. So we did. We got a 7-year-old, and we went to pick him up, and the first thing he says, he's got a Ziploc bag with a tooth in it. He said, I lost a tooth. I'm like, thinking to myself, great. Does foster care cover that? Or am I out? Who's covering tea? Am I out $5 on this already? Plus, I don't know this kid. This kid has never slept at our house. And the first thing I have to do is sneak into his bedroom, grab a tooth, swap out $1. Like, no thank you. This kid wakes up the first time he's ever been in my house, I'm hovering over him in a wheelchair. And you never know where the kids come from. Like, you never know their backstory. So we ended up keeping him. There was some issues with his foster, and we kept him for a long haul. And a great kid, we love him to death, but you never know their story. So one day, he's playing a game on his tablet, and he says, how do you spell murder and gun? I mean, I told him, because education is important in our family. But I wasn't about to tell him how to spell foster dad, that's for sure. I'm not trying to be part of a manifesto, you know what I mean? He was drawing a picture one day of a family, and none of the family members had heads. And it was raining blood. My wife's like, should we tell somebody about it? I'm like, let me ask. So I asked him, I said, who is this? He says, that's Jason. I said, oh, are you Jason? He said, no. I said, am I Jason? He said, no. All right, I'm good with that. Game on, player. My wife said, she said, should we tell somebody? I said, nah. That whole family had legs. Yeah. He's great. He loves that joke, by the way. Oh, he does. I brought him to a show, and so he said, you think your dad's funny? Yeah, until he started talking about me. We got him, And he had 2 sisters. So when it came time to adopt, we ended up with him and his 2 sisters to keep the whole family together. So we went from 0 to 3. That's Mike. And thank you. Thank you. Now I'm not saying all bad things. Now I'm not even joking about how bad they are. No, they're great. But I became a dad during the pandemic. And when you go through foster care, it usually takes 90 days before you can adopt. They let us do it in 2 weeks. They're like, you've been through enough. Like, there was no place to take them. Like, we couldn't go any, there's no Chuck E. Cheese, there's no Dave & Buster's. It was all closed down. So I got the bright idea, like, we'll take them to the splash pad at the park. Which splash pad, if you don't know, is like a fountain they just gave up. The water just comes out of the ground, and the kids just kind of sit on the jets. Like, my son got on the jet and said, look, Dad, hey! Like, stop doing that. He said, why? Because it feels too good? I don't know. I don't know why you know. But, so then, when we got the girls, I took the girls. But now, everything is shut down. We get there, and the splash pad is closed because of the pandemic. We're like, all right. So we play on the playground for a little bit, and my little girl said, Dad, I have to go pee. All right, so we go to the bathroom, and it's locked. If you're going to lock the bathrooms, at least turn on the splash pad, you know what I mean? So I do what I know to do. We go find a tree. And I say, Lila, just pull your pants down, squat down, and go to the bathroom. So she pulls her pants down and sits in the dirt. I'm like, no. So she stands back up and says, Dad, I have a leaf in my butt. I don't know who's supposed to teach little girls how to pee outside, but it's not a 35-year-old man she just met. You know. I enjoy going to that park. I'm not trying to be on a list. Does anybody here know how far away from the park you have to be if you're on the list? Good, that's a test. That's a test. The other day I told a joke and the guy said, 250 yards. Unless it's next to a church. Well, thank you, sir. You can leave. But now that I have kids, like I feel for their safety. So we had to move. Like, I'm from Arlington. I used to be like, A-Town till I die. But that started to become a legit possibility. So we moved. And the straw that broke the camel's back is my buddy and I had gone out after a show. It's like 2 in the morning, and we stopped at a little restaurant to get something to eat. And due to pending legal allegations, I can't name the restaurant. But it's famous, and it's named after a man named Amos. I'm just saying. It's famous Amos, y'all. Famous Amos. They ain't no catch guy. But we got robbed. Yes. We got robbed at Famous Amos. Now, I'm one of those people, I did time in the military, so I like to sit where I can see the door in case something goes down. I can assess the situation, and I can handle it. I forgot I was in a wheelchair because 2 guys with guns came in, and I was like, oh, we're getting robbed. That was for sure. So they come over to my table, and the guy says, give me your stuff. And so I went, I know it's 2024, you can't go anymore, and I'm in a wheelchair, it's my only defense. All I got, and they still took my stuff. I'm in a wheelchair, I threw on top of it, and they got me, still. So he took all my stuff, and he says, now get to the back. All right. So I'm rolling to the back. He said, no, hurry up. I got 1 speed in this chair, and it's crippled. So he got behind me, and he started to push. I'm like, bless his heart, there's a full-service robber. So we get into the back, and he says, now get down. Like, we just discussed this, man. I'm in a wheelchair. And how far down do you want me to go? And so I look down, and there's another guy down there who works there. He's from the kitchen. And he's laying on the floor so still that I thought they had shot him. He was that still. So I pulled forward just to check. I ran over a little bit, and he just went, Wah! And we all panicked. Thank y'all so much. My name's Wes Johnson. Y'all have been fantastic. I'm in the back, small koozies, or on the floor right here, one or the other. Nice to meet everybody.
Another hand for Wes Johnson, everybody. How about that? And for Bobby Parker as well. How about Bobby? You guys have a good time?